Good morning everyone. Today in General Science, let's move on to our next chapter, Chapter 8, Air is Everywhere. So in this chapter, we are going to learn about air, wind and clean air. So first let's start with air. You might all have heard the word air. You know that we breathe in air, we breathe out air. So all living things need air to live. So what all are living things? Plants, animals, human beings are all living things and they need air to live. So air is all around us. Air is present up above the sky where the birds fly. It is also present in the water where fish swim. It's also present in the soil. So everywhere air is around us. But can we see air? No. Can we touch the air? No. But we can feel the air. How can you feel the air? You might have noticed the leaves on plants or trees moving. So how do they move? It's because of the air. And you feel the air, but you cannot see or touch the air. So by seeing the leaves on the trees moving, we can understand that there is air. And what about when you switch on the fan? You feel the cool breeze, but you are not able to see or touch the air. So this is a property of the air that we cannot see or touch the air, but we can feel air. So moving air is called wind. So what is wind? Moving air is called wind. So the sailboats, they move with the help of the wind. In the same way, kites fly up in the sky with the help of wind. So moving air is wind. A gentle wind is called breeze. So when the wind moves gently, we call it a breeze. When there are very strong winds, we call it a storm. So storms are very strong winds. This storm has the capacity to uproot big trees. So when there are very heavy rainfall, you might have noticed storm also accompanied with them. So this storm is able to uproot trees. So when there is storm, the roots of the trees come up above the soil. And also storms have the capacity to damage big buildings. It also harms people and animals. So very strong winds are called storm. Next, you have an activity to do. Here, what you have to do is first take a glass tumbler. After that, you need to place a dry lump of soil in it. So first take a glass tumbler and you need to put some dry lump of soil in it. Next step it is carefully pour water from the side of the tumbler. So first you have taken a tumbler and then inside it you need to put some dry soil and then carefully you have to pour water from the side of the tumbler. So what did you notice? You can notice the bubbles coming out of the soil. So why does this happen? Because there is air present in the bubbles. So you can try doing this activity at your home. Next, let us learn about what is air made up of. So we told that air is everywhere. Air is all around us. So let's learn what is air made up of. Air is made up of many gases. So we breathe in oxygen, we breathe out carbon dioxide. So this oxygen, carbon dioxide are all gases and these gases are present in the air. So oxygen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, nitrogen are some of the gases. So these gases are present in the air. So we can say that air is made up of many gases. We can also say that air is made up of water vapor. So what is water vapor? Have you noticed when your mother boils water or milk in the kitchen, you can see the water vapor rising up. So this water vapor mixes with the air. So we can say that air is made up of water vapor. So next time when your mother boils milk or water, observe the water vapor rising up into the air. We can also say that air is made up of dust. So you all know what is dust. We can see dust on the roads, everywhere. So this air is made up of dust. And also air is made up of small living things. So small living things like bacteria, virus are all present in the air. So we can say that air is made up of small living things. So we learned that air is made up of many gases, dust, water vapor and small living things. Next, let's do some experiments with air. For doing this experiment, you should take a balloon first. So when you take a balloon first, it's empty. There is nothing inside it. So start blowing the balloon. So you can see that the balloon becomes bigger and bigger. So when it is big enough, you can tie the balloon with a thread. So now you can see that the balloon has become bigger. So how did it become big? When we blew air, the balloon started becoming big. So what did we fill inside it? We filled air into it. So does air need space? Yes, air needs space. And also you can see when you breathe in, the lungs expands. So you can place your palm on the chest and see. When you breathe in, you can feel that your lungs goes outwards. This is because the air gets into the lungs. And when you breathe out, some of the air goes away and you can see that the lungs moves inwards. This is because air needs space. Because air needs space, when you breathe in, the lungs expands. For doing the next experiment, you need 2 balloons and a stick. So first take 2 balloons. Take one balloon and tie it to the one end of a stick like it is seen in this picture. The second balloon, blow it, and when it's bigger, you can tie the balloon to the other end of the stick. Here you can notice that the balloon which you blew has more weight and it is downwards. So what do you understand from this experiment? Air has weight. So try doing these experiments at your home. So we learned the properties of air. So let's check what all we learned. Air cannot be seen. We cannot see air. Air cannot be touched. So air, we cannot touch air. Air occupies space. Air has weight and air is all around us. You might have noticed the people who climb mountains, that is the mountaineers, carry oxygen cylinders with them. Do you know why they carry oxygen cylinders with them? Because the amount of air is not the same everywhere. So high up on the mountains, the air is low, so the people need oxygen cylinders and they carry oxygen cylinders along with them when they climb mountains. Next, let's learn about clean air. Clean air does not have any smell or color of its own. So we need clean air to be healthy and fit. So what happens when the air becomes unclean? The unclean air makes us unhealthy. So how does the air become unclean? The smoke from the factories. You can see the smoke from the factories. It mixes up with the air and the air becomes unclean. And also smoke from vehicles like car, buses, lorries all make the air unclean. And also you might be excited in bursting crackers and fireworks. What happens when you burst fireworks? The smoke comes out and fills in the air. So these things makes the air unclean. So when we breathe in this unclean air, we fall sick very often. So it's very important that we have to maintain the air clean for us to stay healthy and fit. Next, let's learn some of the life skills related to air. Grow plants. Even small potted plants cleans air. So plants cleans air. So what you have to do? You have to grow more plants. Even potted plants clean the air. Walk or cycle to nearby places. Do not use motor vehicles. If you want to go to nearby places, what you have to do? You can either walk or you can use cycles. It's better to avoid motor vehicles. Why? Because the smoke from the motor vehicles fills in the air and makes the air unclean. So it's better you walk or go by cycle if it is a nearby place. Use buses or trains to travel long distances. So when you're going to long distances, instead of using cars, you can either use buses or trains. Avoid lighting fireworks during festivals. So during festivals, avoid bursting fireworks and crackers because the air becomes unclean. Do not burn paper, plastic or rubber. What happens when you burn paper, plastic or rubber? The smoke comes out and makes the air unclean. So these are some of the tips you can follow to make our air clean. So this is all about our chapter, Air is Everywhere. Hope you understood the chapter. Read the chapter 2 times and let's move on to our exercise part. In the exercise part, first we have draw a happy smiley if the statement is true and a smart face if the statement is false. Now let's check the questions. First one, air is present only on land. Second, plants clean air. Third one, smoke from cars and factories can make us sick. Fourth question, fireworks make the air unclean. And the fifth one, only animals need air to live. Read the statements. If the statements are true, you can insert a happy face there. And if the statements are not true, you have to insert a sad face there. So pause the video, try doing this. Hope you have done. Now let's check our answers. The first one, air is present only on land. Is it correct? No. So you can insert a sad face there. The second question, plants clean air. That statement is true and you can insert a happy face there. Now the third one, smoke from cars and factories can make us sick. That statement is true, so put a happy face there. Fourth one, fireworks make the air unclean. So that statement is also true, so draw a happy face. Fifth one, only animals need air to live. And that statement is not true, so you can draw a sad face there. Moving on to a next exercise part. Fill in the blanks to complete the following sentences. How can you keep the air clean? Let's look at the questions. First one, I will dash or use a bicycle to go to a nearby place. So you can fill what you know there. The second one, I'll grow dash near my home and school. Third one, I will not light dash during festivals. Fourth one, I will not burn dash or paper. Fifth one, I'll use a train or a dash to travel to faraway places. So you can pause the video, try doing this. Hope you have done. Now let's check our answers. First question, I will walk or use a bicycle to go to a nearby place. So you have to write walk there. Second one, I'll grow plants near my home and school. So you have to fill the word plants. Third one, I will not light fireworks during festivals. So there you have to write fireworks. Fourth one, I will not burn rubber, plastics or paper. So you have to write there rubber and plastics. Fifth one, I'll use a train or a bus to travel to faraway places. So in the fifth sentence, you should write bus. Let's move on to our next exercise. It is answer the following questions. So these answers you can write in the text itself where the space is provided. So let's look at the first question. What is moving air called? And what's the answer? Moving air is called wind. So write down there. Moving air is called wind. Second one, what is a storm? And you can write there, very strong wind is called a storm. Third question, what does air contain? Air contains different gases, water vapor and dust. Fourth one, do small plants clean air? And the answer is yes, small plants clean air. Fifth one, do animals and plants need clean air? And the answer, yes, animals and plants need clean air. Next, let's move on to the higher order thinking. Here we have two questions. The first one, when does air become unclean? And what is the answer? Smokes from factories, fireworks, cars and buses makes air unclean. So you can write down the answer in the text itself. Moving on to the second question. Do you think people who use bicycles help in keeping the air clean? Why? Answer, people who use bicycles help in keeping the air clean because cycles doesn't have smoke. So you can write down all these answers in your text. Moving on to the next one, we have value-based question. So here, unclean air can make us sick. Tick sentences that help air clean. So you can see some sentences have been given. So you have to tick the sentences which are correct. So the first sentence, we should not burn plastics. So you can think and do. Second one, we should grow plants. Third question, we should use buses and trains to go to faraway places. Fourth one, we should light lots of fireworks during festivals. Fifth one, we should cut down trees that are near to our homes. So do it and come back once you have done. Hope you have done. Let's check the answers. The first one, we should not burn plastics, and that is correct. You can put a tick over there. Second one, we should grow plants, and that is also correct. So you can put a tick on the second one also. Third one, we should use buses and trains to go to faraway places, and that sentence is also correct. So you can draw a tick there. Fourth one, we should light lots of fireworks during festivals. So that sentence is not correct. Fifth, we should cut down trees that are near to our homes. So you should not cut down trees because plants and trees clean air. So that is also not correct. Now let's move on to the next exercise part. Here you can see a picture in your text. Look at the picture. What are the things that make the air unclean? Write them in the blanks. So here in this picture you can see the smoke coming out from the factories. And also you can see the smoke coming out from the vehicles on the road. So based on this, you have to write some sentences here in the space provided in your text. So here this is an activity for you. Try doing this. Next, we have the activity zone. So in your text you can see an activity is given. Let's read out what is given there. It is making a pinwheel. So the things needed for making this pinwheel is a square sheet of paper, a push pin, a pencil with eraser. So first you need to take a square piece of paper. Then what you need to do? You have to fold the papers. So here in your text you can see the square paper folded. So fold as shown, make creases, then unfold. The next step is to make marks about 1/3 of the way from the center. Next, cut along the folded lines. Stop at the marks. Next step, bring every other point into the center. Sixth one, stick the pin through all the 4 points. And last, turn the pinwheel. Attach the pencil by sticking the pin through the eraser of a pencil. Here, your pinwheel is ready. So this activity you need to do with the help of your parent or elders. So try making this pinwheel. With this, we finish our chapter, Air is Everywhere. Hope you understood the concept. We'll be meeting in the next class. Thank you.